And as I said, all this capacity is from the new buildings. You can see there is a trend. So in the first decade of the century, so they may be because the quite profitable. So and because these Maersk, they went crazy. Sorry, I mentioned this name, but they went crazy. They went to took the market share. So then they ordered a lot of big ships. They were the first carrier to start the so-called triple E. That is like the 30,000 TEU vessel. I remember. So they killed the market. But the other ship, like armories, so the other people, other shipping lines, they got no choice but to also to order new ships. So then they created this oversupply. Then this revenue went up, and then you have some shipping lines went bankrupt. But you can see that the recent years, these new orders have been reduced. In fact, in the past 2 years, simply there's no delivery of mega ships. Okay. Next. No. And then again, besides this, the slowing of this new ordering, we have idle capacity. It means that we like to withdraw capacity from the market. We're going to idle the ships. So you can see that the idle capacity also increased in recent years. And the biggest part of the idle ship is these big ships, over 7,500 TEU vessels.
Let me extend my greatest appreciation to our honorable guest, State Minister, Mr. Duval, and Secretary, Mr. Arya, and all the distinguished guests to come to this event. I have been in India way back in 2003. I think we started the Kolkata office in 2006. We may not have a direct connection to Nepal at that time, but we do accept cargo to Calcutta at Merchant College, which my colleague has explained. So we are not new to this market, but this is our commitment. As Justin has demonstrated, I think he has given a very good presentation, very good insight of the services that we can offer. And I can see his passion. And I want to reiterate, I want to tell all of you that we are committed to coming to this Nepal market to serve our customers in Nepal. I also want to thank our trade director as well for taking his time. He has got a very busy schedule to come all the way from Shanghai, connect with me, come to Nepal. And the fact that we have so many colleagues from our main key training areas. Now, I think there are several things that we have to look at. First thing maybe I would like to share is when it is a landlocked country, you have various infrastructure, various obstacles along the way to bring your container from the port to the final destination, which is in Nepal, which is landlocked. Now, let me quote you an example. In Africa when I was there last week. It will cost you $8,000 to truck a container from Dar es Salaam to Democratic Republic of Congo. $8,000. And I told them I charge you only $100 to take your container from Dar es Salaam all the way to Shanghai in my ship. Why is the truck owner charging you $8,000 and why are you paying me only $100? Why? Okay, I think we have economy of scale in terms of the ship size. We have a certain operating efficiency as far as the shipping company is concerned. But again, I think sometimes we have to look at various ways to overcome the various obstacles in terms of land transportation. Truck can only pick up one container. My ship can transport 20,000 TEUs at one go. Now, I think Justin has listed a very key point in the reason why we want to come to ICD Pier Branch. And I also want to personally address Honorable Minister's concern, how to reduce the cost, why am I paying detention? Actually, the detention cost is caused by delay. It is part of the opportunity cost. The delay may not necessarily be in Nepal. The delays may be in Calcutta. The delays may be in the custom broker. The delays may be because of the drought issue during winter. The delays because there is no berth window in Calcutta. I cannot berth my ship. When I cannot berth my ship, I still pay charter hire on a daily basis. Now, what we are doing today, as Justin has presented to you, if you are not aware, in the past, if I transport a container to Kolkata, you will have to come and pick up a container from Calcutta. Whatever delay it is, the moment it gets out, the detention clock starts. This is where the detention charges Mr. Sharma talk about. The detention will not end until you bring my container all the way from Nepal back to Kolkata. So now this is part of the asset utilization operating cost. It is not our wish to charge you a detention, but it is our wish that our asset can be returned so that we can use them. Obviously, we are in the asset business. Our ship cannot be sitting in the port. Our ship has to be moving in the ocean. My container has to move to somewhere else so that I can collect a freight. I collect $100, very cheap. Too cheap, actually. So, now that we have extended carrier haulage service all the way to ICD Beer Branch, it means that will actually help the Nepalese importer because the clock starts at ICD Beer Branch. Your detention clock will not start. Meaning, it is my responsibility now to overcome those delays, obstacles, whatever that I will face in Calcutta port. And I'm sure that everyone knows how difficult it is to operate in these British era ports. I was surprised first time when I see a lock gate. Wow, what is a lock gate? I have never seen any port in the world operating a lock gate. And when the tide is low, they close this lock gate and says you transfer your vessel to the next berth. So who is going to pay? Finally, I think it's very unfortunate. It has to be passed down to the consumer, to the traders. Somebody has to pay. So, with what we are trying to do now, that we can offer the service all the way to Beer Branch, I think you will have a better control of this kind of expenses like detention because it will start from ICD Beer Branch.
It's a listed company in Hong Kong. Some short briefing about this company. It was previously owned by the Tong family. Oh, too fast. It was owned by the Mr. Tong family, Mr. C.H. Tong. And C.H. Tong was the first chief executive of Hong Kong SAR after China took sovereignty of Hong Kong from UK. So, no. Okay. But in 2017, the family sold the company, OOCL, to Costco Shipping Group, which is the state-owned company of China. So, come on. So we are we remain headquartered in Hong Kong and still listed in Hong Kong Stock Exchange. And our principal business activities are container transport and logistics. So usually we have some people say, you take some like cement or coal. No, we don't take because we are OOCL. So we are container shipping company. And no, don't touch it. And this revenue in 2018 is 6.6 billion. By the way, Costco spent $6.3 billion to buy this company.
Having been in container business for the past 30 years, I think in the slide, I hope that you can agree with us. Also have developed ourselves into a so-called global carrier connecting each countries. We, at the end of the days, we are in the servicing industry. So customer anyway needs service for us to create value for their cargo and for the consignment. So we strive to create value to our customer through our so-called end-to-end products. And this type of end-to-end product is being offered moving while our ocean and land type of network. Customer, since we also proud ourselves in terms of this type of so-called transparency of information, so in fact customer can track and trace their cargo movements in fact, through different electronic communication channel. So be it talk about now, everyone got the mobile, you can track all your shipments, track all your bookings through your mobile, or traditionally through the so-called computers. Whether we're talking about those small things, desktop, bigger screen type desktop, or your mini iPad, or the Samsung products. So anyway, this is the trend, and every carriers have to compete in such type of so-called now complex world. Although digitization is entering into our industry, I mean, you hear something about this blockchain. Blockchain type thing is trying to link all the so-called stakeholders along the so-called value chain, such that everyone contribute and control the part which they are, accountable. And through such type of so-called, we use the word ecosystem, which means we try to reduce a lot of so-called wastage, shorten the so-called the transaction time, and most important is it is somehow a so-called trusted type of environment, which no longer we have to rely on documents being transferred physically from one hand to another. So I think, of course, different countries have different developments, and as I just mentioned, without all the stakeholders getting involved, that type of thing is still traditional. So finance, the banking industry must come into this type of ecosystem. Otherwise, I think, trace back 20 years ago versus today, what's the difference? If we are still talking about digitizing or make things become a little bit more electronic and can be transparent and accessible, the so-called value or is still marginal. Okay, so of course, we try to do our part, make it an open system. We can, accept any stakeholder to join this type of so-called founding members. So far, I could say, as carrier side, we are not successful yet to get any of the banks into that system. Okay, bank also create their own e-banking or their own system as well. Our industry is quite old. We're talking about 1,000 years. The basic transaction is the BL. And once the BL and under the finance system can be trusted through this so-called ecosystem, then I think the world will really change. I don't know when, but I think it's a matter of 4 or 5 years. Okay? And I don't want to frighten, everyone around, even our own personal life, about this technological innovation. Because at the end, we are still in a so-called human type of interaction, human type of business. If everything can be put in the system, then human, we really have to think about what do we mean by society, countries, what do we mean by relationship, okay? So, human contact, interaction, through our own office or our appointed agencies, whether it is a JV, joint venture type, or it is 100% third-party owns type of a setup.
Dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I will welcome this OOCL group in this beautiful country, and from the behalf of the Nepal government, I will assure you that our government will give you full support in this country. So this is a landlocked country, and your third largest shipping line in world. You have so many services, and being a landlocked country, we take privilege only this container services from your side. My secretary, our ministry secretary, Mr. Bakun is sitting near me. I was asking that we have only 2 ports are open from India to this country, and now 2 more ports from India they are giving us as a facilitation to this country. So this is a small country, and we spent our 10-15 years to stabilize the political situation in Nepal, and since last 2-3 years, we have completed all our elections, all 3 stages of elections, and this country has now totally established. The peace is there. Now we have only one target, to establish the growth of economy in this country. We have so many possibilities in the country. We have hydro, we have tourism, we have mines, we have jungle and herbs. We have so many things here, so many possibilities. So now we are on the track of growth. We are growing this country now. And we have my personally some business, and I'm using your this shipping company. I've asked to my CEO that which shipping company most we are using. So there are some more companies, shipping companies, but fortunately we are using this shipping line also in my group. We are using this company. I don't know what facilities you are giving, but there are some difficulties in Calcutta port, like your service of the shipping company due to some hurdles in Calcutta port. So we face problems to handle the cargoes to our country. So we have to pay so many detentions to the shipping companies. So I request you to give some privilege to our country. And though this is just we are growing, and we can't spend so many money on the logistics. So I request your company to give some privilege what we can give to our country. And your slogan is really very attractive. We take it personally, and personally is giving us feel that you will take the personally everything. And once again, I welcome this company, and I congratulate that you have just completed your 50 years. So I must congratulate on the behalf of Nepali public and government of Nepal, and you grow more, and you will be a #1 company in the world. This is my always wish to your company. Thank you so much.
Honorable Chief Guest, our State Minister, Industries, Commerce and Supplies, and our Secretary of our Industry, Supply and Commerce, and fellow OOCL family, our business community, and the press. First of all, I would like to thank OOCL that he has introduced his own, he has given the priority of Nepal, that Nepal is one of the best business hub in the future. So that's why, first of all, I would like to thank for this presentation about the OOCL, and welcome to the Nepal, and nice to stay with us. And as our President of CNI has already briefed regarding what problem we are facing in the business, the cost. If you people has given the facilities, like he has given the brief that 20% your fuel cost is down by other shipping company, then definitely we are requesting you that at least for some years, at least 5-7 years, you should provide that cost for us. Then we people can compete in our market. Because as we know, you know that we have faced a lot of problem in the last 10 years in political unbalance. So now our State Minister has already defined. Now we are in the growing position. We are trying to establish as a economic hub, and we are trying to be, people should be happy from what? From the economic activities. So as a whole, I would like to once again welcome to our country, our secretary has already briefed everything. And I think everyone, this company is world largest company, and your slogan is also very touchable, that we take personally. Then we request that, you are the trade director, we are requesting that from the private sector that you take personally for us, especially Nepalese entrepreneur. If you take personally for some times, at least when you grow, then you can charge much. If you give the 20% subsidy this time, if we grow, then you can charge 15% plus after 5 years or 10 years, then you can maintain all the activities. So I think my request will be, definitely you people, you are the main boss are here, everybody is here of the OOCL. So they should think about the Nepalese entrepreneur or Nepalese industrialist, businessman. On behalf of FNCCI, I would like to request you two people, and I would like to thank, and I believe that we Nepalese entrepreneur will definitely cooperate this OOCL in the future too. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing the memories. Yes, there was a political unrest in Nepal that has cleaned up now. This is a booming market. Also, our sympathy goes when there was a catastrophe happened with the earthquake, and there were loss of lives. It was shut down. So, God forbid, things are pretty okay. Things are very buoyant. Things are upbeat. And we look forward to all your supports. And now, as a vote of thanks, I will again thank Dugaji, our minister. Thank you very much, sir, from the bottom of the heart to be present over here. Thank you, Secretary, Mr. Arilji, to be present, and the Confederation of Chamber of Commerce and our colleagues from OOCL. I know everybody is feeling thirsty now, so I close what I have to say. Yes, please, tell me. Sorry, yes, go ahead.
Our chief guest of this evening, this August gathering, our State Minister, Honorable Modilal Dugarji, guest of honor, Secretary Mr. Bakut Arial, Ministry of Industries, Commerce and Supplies, the family of the directors, the general manager, the MD, the family, so I have called as a family of OOCL, to take us as a personality, personally. My friends, the business community, the press, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, I have nothing to say along, because our minister, our secretaries have already given the all crux for the business. What are the problems which we are facing in that? As a landlocked country, we are thinking and we are discussing yesterday that about 22% of our cost is the transportation. Thanks to the government of Nepal that they are introducing the 2 new ports in India, and also we have a bilateral or protocol with China, so that we can use, and also not only that, we can also, now we have a better bargaining power with the existing 2 ports, Kolkata and Vizag, so that the cost of doing business or the cost of transportation can reduce. I have seen by your life slices and come to know that because of your efficiency as a business community head, I must say, and my mind should be the business only oriented. So I had seen that, particularly that slide where you had claimed that your fuel consumption is less than others by 20%. It means you can be more competitive on your cost by 20%. So let us be committed with the Nepalese business society, that how can we be more competitive with the others. Our Kishore Pradhan is laughing for that because we can understand that 20% is the huge amount. See how we can be, you can, as already told by our secretary, that the three crux are there in the business community, like as efficiency, service, and cost benefit. So see how you can be more competitive, more service oriented in the country, and how we can be cost effective. I must say thanks for your all success, and see that how you can be more be friendly with Nepal. Thank you very much.
Minister already spoke, so I don't need to speak. But again, thank you very much for inviting Honorable State Minister, Mr. Motilal Dugar, colleagues from OOCL, from the business community in Nepal, and our media friends and ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for inviting us in this August gathering. I got to know at least something about the third largest shipping company in the world. That's very remarkable and very interesting presentation that you gave. And even the video show was quite interesting, and even understood how the shipping companies work around the globe and so. As our State Minister already said, we have limited connectivity to the world. We have two ports in India, that is Kolkata and Vizag. And as rightly pointed out, we have started this electronic shipping, that's what we call it, electronic cargo tracking system, which enables our containers coming from all around the world directly to our port, land port in Birgans. And that gives us, that has shortened the shipping time drastically. Sometimes it used to take 91 days from Kolkata to Birgans. Now it has reduced to 4 to 10 days. So the shipping time is very, very short now. And we, as our State Minister already said, we are trying to get 2 more additional ports from India. One is Dhamra in Orissa, and another one is Mundra, that you also saw, that is in Gujarat. We are in regular discussion with Indian government, but Dhamra is probably not lucrative for you because it only handles the bulk cargo, and it's not containerized one, so that's not of your interest, I believe. But last month I visited Dhamra, and they are also keen to start the containerized cargo. So once they start, probably that would also be an interest for you. And if we are able to get that port for us, definitely that will be one shortest route for us. And we are also, we have reached to the agreement with the Indian government to use their inland waterways from Kolkata to that they had constructed along the Ganga River, that is up to, and they have also agreed to provide us 3 terminals, which are very closer to Nepal, nearly less than 200 kilometers on the road. So that would also be enabling us to reduce our trade cost in the days to come.
And I have since long ago, I have a curiosity, and I don't get the platform to put. So here, every OOCL staff are here. So I'm putting my curiosity in front of you. Most of my consignment, it is from Europe. It takes around 30 days from Europe to Calcutta. I'm talking only about up to Calcutta. around it takes 30 days. 30 days from port of loading to port of destination. So the total cost means container rental, selling charge, everything including, it is around, let us assume $90 per container from Europe to Calcutta. Yeah, $90, 900 per container. Let us assume, this is my hypothetical, sometimes it becomes 700, sometimes 800, sometimes 900. So if we assume $900 per container per day, the charge is $30 per container per day. In this cost, there is a selling cost, operating cost, and your profit as well. And for us, we are a landlocked country. Our minister, our secretary, everybody told that. Everybody says we are the landlocked country, and we have a great concern about detention cost. Even our minister is worried about the detention cost. So you are charging $70 per day. What is the logic behind this? As you have already selling cost, everything, you are getting $30. Here only you are taking detention cost $70 per day. Number one. This is my curiosity, because this is your pricing. I am not going to bargain you regarding your price because you have already mentioned your price. Just my curiosity, because I didn't find any logical consequences between price and this detention cost. Number one. Number two, you provide 5 days on Birganj. Kolkata, it was our nightmare. We do not want to remember about Kolkata, so many others, so many added. So we do not want to even remember about Kolkata. Let us talk about Birganj. You provide only 5 days. 5 days, usually the train enter into Kolkata at the evening. They want to start from that day, from that time. And second day, official work clearing, only at the evening, our cargo will be clear. You provide only 5 days. So it means 3 days we get in our hand. I am in Birganj, it's okay. But customers who are in Dhangadi, who are in Nepalganj,